Happy almost New Year, everybody. This is the second to last live Unlocked
Penultimate.
of 2015.
This is not live whatsoever.
One of my favorite words, Marty. I like that. We'll have another live show next week, and then we've been saving up all year again for an outtake show.
We got some real solid goofs.
Spoofing and goofing. It'll make no sense. It'll be totally dumb, but it might be funny out of context.
You're going to get a lot of out-of-context profanity.
Yes.
Weird off-topic discussions that came out of nowhere.
Oh, there were a couple things where we talked about something, and it was like embargoed for like a month or two.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah. I'm excited to listen to this because I remember certain moments where like that's going to make the end of the year show, and that was 9 months ago.
Yeah, so I did make sure I will listen to the whole thing ahead of time to make sure there's not anything too incriminating.
Yeah, make sure we didn't lose our jobs.
I will do that. Anyway, welcome to Unlocked 224, the world's #1 Xbox podcast. I'm Ryan McCaffrey. That's Mitch Dyer.
Hello.
That's the drill.
Yeah,
I was
just gonna. I didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't want to break the illusion. But
Marty Sleva.
Hello.
And Destin Legary, our hero in blue today.
Oh, thank you.
Hero in blue.
I like that blue. That's a nice blue.
I do too. It's actually
almost a Superman blue.
It's a size too large on me now, but I like the shirt still.
Oh, I'm losing too much weight. Life is so hard. My wardrobe sucks now.
I'm just saying I need to buy a new shirt.
I had to do that when I moved here, and I ate like garbage because it was like burritos all day.
Oh, yeah.
Like you walk so much in the Bay Area that I lost like 30 pounds in 6 months, and I was like, oh, literally none of the clothes I brought fit. Bye, donate.
Yeah.
I had to spend hundreds of dollars on shirts that actually
no
fit.
more fat winter Canada clothes.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was all toques and sweaters.
Yeah. So it's December 9th, 2015. Let's start with, of course, we knew that the Game Awards were going to be happening just far enough away from our recording time last week where we didn't want to hold the show up.
Did you guys make sick predictions? Did you call it?
No, we knew most of the stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Marty, did you see the Baba Yaga?
I saw the. We're talking about the Baba Yaga later.
Let's start there. Actually, no. You know what? We're going to get to all that in another segment. So, actually, I wanted to start first with the sort of overall game impression, overall impressions, if I could speak properly, of the Game Awards itself, because this is a show that has been put on for a number of years now and has had some quality issues in the past.
Big time.
But I wanted to start by saying I think this was, and this is not a backhanded compliment, I think this was by far the best video game award show yet.
Yeah, I completely agree. I still think there's room for improvement, but kudos to Jeff and his entire team for putting on something that wasn't embarrassing.
Yeah, absolutely. This was much closer to the GDC Awards, which I adore.
Yeah.
Than it was what they were doing previously.
Like, aired though.
No, not at all.
They're just private.
But it's like more in line with that. It's more like it's bringing that kind of respectful, reverent stage thing to the public, while also kind of getting them in with like world exclusive.
Yeah. It's, last year I thought, 2 years ago it was a disaster. Last year it was sort of rebooted.
Steps in the right direction.
And it was like so close to being good last year.
But it was 3 hours long.
It was just also mostly ads. Like they were like, oh, and by the way, an award happened behind the scenes. Goodbye, move on to world exclusive.
And so this year, that was all tightened up as a tight 2-hour show. There were actual awards given, actual sincerity from the likes of Jeff himself,
Kiefer Sutherland,
Greg Miller gave a fantastic
his speech. Was incredible.
Just amazing.
So just bravo to Jeff Keighley. It's of course there were complaints on Twitter. Oh, the reveals weren't that good this year. It's like, well, you know what? I mean, there were still some fun stuff, which we'll talk about.
It's also the award show.
Yeah. It's the award show, and there's a conference literally the next day.
I was about to say, also it's 2015.
Well,
we have a conference literally every week.
Yeah, that too. But, good stuff from Jeff Keighley. I hope everybody watched it on IGN or elsewhere. And if you didn't, make sure to watch it next year because it's turning into a really good thing.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely.
So now I want to talk about, now you guys talking about the other conference of the weekend, last weekend, and that's PSX. This is the second PlayStation experience. So how do you guys... I ended up being out sick for the thing, but how did you guys think of it? It was here. It was right in our backyard. How did it compare to last year's? And as it pertains to our Xbox podcast, as someone gets
welcome back, Drill.
A root canal behind us. What can Microsoft? We talked about this last year. Like, should Microsoft do their own thing?
Yes.
But what are the notes? I'm not necessarily asking the same question again this year.
Sure.
But what are the takeaways for Microsoft from this? as you guys see it?
Have something big at the end. Don't make all the big announcements at the beginning, and then have 2 hours of okay announcements.
So I didn't watch the conference. So as somebody who came to IGN and like saw everything on the blog roll, it looked really good. Was it not?
Yeah, I mean the conference
started strong.
The conference became a victim of the fact that Sony had big presences at Paris and at TGS, and like it's just one of those. There's too much in the bottom half of the year, and so aside from like Uncharted and Final Fantasy remake, it was sort of. A lot of stuff was a dud. A lot of segments went on a little too long, not enough reveals. So I think a lesson out of there is that, which Microsoft has done pretty well, maybe even to their detriment, because Microsoft doesn't do, or this year hasn't done nearly as many sort of big shows and conferences as Sony has. Yeah. I mean, they had Gamescom and E3.
That's it.
Whereas Sony did, I mean, Sony skipped on Gamescom, but then they had Paris and TGS and now with the PSX. But one of the things I noticed just from, it was right in our backyard, and I was there for like 10 hours both days. It was such a fun, positive celebration of it was PlayStation culture, but it was also just gaming culture and people who were excited, and like that was our audience. Like I cannot count the number of times we were stopped, like walking around the show floor of people who, not only brought up Beyond, but brought up, all the other podcasts. They were like, oh, where's Destin? We want to meet Destin. Or like, oh, is McCaffrey here? We want to talk about Unlocked. And so, like, Microsoft needs...
They didn't say that.
100, I swear to God.
They don't make me feel better.
I 100%. But yeah, I think this is something like... I think one of the sort of soft skills, or one of the reasons that Sony's pulled ahead in this generation, is sort of that really great two-way dialogue with the fans and with the hardcore fans, and I think that's something Microsoft could absolutely learn from.
It's being human beings. Like they have Boys and Gio and Shu on stage, and they have their executive leadership on stage being personable and funny and genuine.
Yeah.
Like, they really not only care about...
We're going to curse.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. They not only care about like the capital B brand. Obviously they have to. It's what they do. It's how they make their money. But like they genuinely care about the people that play this.
Yeah.
They want their input. They care about the games. Like,
Yeah.
And obviously Microsoft does as well. That's not to say that Phil and his team don't.
Aaron and Chris. Yeah.
But, and I've said this 1,000 times on this show, and I think I totally get where it's coming from, but the presentations are a little more robotic and a little more sterile and more direct, like, this is what we're doing. Enjoy. And not as much of, come be part of this with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you really hit it for me, Marty. I think what Sony has done an impeccable, almost flawless job of doing this generation is pushing, like, they're on the exact same wavelength with their hardcore fans that are, this word has come to mean something else now, but the influencers, the people that, it means YouTubers now, but
the literal influencers.
But the people that, they're the early adopters that buy the console and then tell 10 of their friends how great it is.
10 of their
In
friends who
real
are more
life, not on
casual
YouTube.
fans who probably didn't, maybe not dipping into the generation until now.
Right, and those guys are the guys that were buying the Xbox 360 last generation. Like, man, you gotta get this system, and now those people are more so in the PS4 camp. It's not to say that those people don't exist on the Xbox side, and that's, I feel like Sony just with even the conference, the PlayStation keynote wasn't super great, and it really ended on like I literally was like, oh,
it ended on a non-note.
That
was it. You thought something else was coming.
There was
Paragon.
Paragon coming to PS4, and then it just sort of ended.
Yeah, there was a trailer, and then it was like, oh.
Like there was no
that was the big bomb.
Shu was never on stage. Like it was very weird.
They even alluded to the fact, like, it sounded to me like during the presentation there would be one more thing after Paragon, not, hey, we're ending with Paragon.
Probably would have
But
been
in any
PlayStation
case-
2 backward compatibility.
Yeah.
In any case,
Or
I feel like Sony,
Maybe.
they just really, like, with, Uncharted is just this highly anticipated game that, we haven't seen it in a while. It's been several years, and people are hungry for it, and they open with a really interesting sequence of that. This like, oh, it has some dialogue.
I mean, most of the stuff they showed was just cutscenes.
Right.
It wasn't
Yeah. Oh,
gameplay.
yeah.
And
Totally.
then they went to they pushed the fanboy button with Final Fantasy VII.
gameplay. Yeah.
And I feel like what Microsoft, I think that Microsoft has really honed their conferences very well. I thought E3's conference was great, and
Yeah, big
Gamescom's
time.
was great.
Yes.
But for all the great stuff that Microsoft has shown, I don't think they've quite managed to hit that exact fanboy wavelength in the same way that Sony has.
Totally.
The best example I can give is the one time where Microsoft totally hit that was the backwards compatibility thing. That
100%.
Everyone, all the hardcore, the engaged fanboy, the engaged Xbox faithful just flipped out. But for as good as Rise of the Tomb Raider was, and Halo 5 was, and even Cuphead and Sea of Thieves, like Sea of Thieves went over pretty well, but there just wasn't. I don't know if it's the style of the presentation, like the way it's presented, as you alluded to, Mitch, or something else. But it's just that like backwards compatibility, you could see the difference in just like the crowd, just the fans, just like whoa,
or even just weird things like the Shenmue 3 thing on Sony stage, which that game's not going to sell great.
No.
There's no world where that game sells great.
No.
But the reaction of that compared to something like Rise of the Tomb Raider, which Rise of the Tomb Raider is going to outsell it by leagues, but the reaction to Shenmue was so much stronger. Just because I think it was just a smaller number of a vocal minority.
I think it might be like Shenmue is a surprise and a gesture of goodwill going farther than the expectation of a great sequel.
Yeah.
Right? Like if Metal Gear Solid 6 is announced, obviously that's going to be amazing, but that's not going to go as far as something like Shenmue 3, like something
something unexpected.
I think I wonder if maybe the difference is what Sony's been able to hit on the messaging is the things like Shenmue that aren't going to sell 7 million units.
Yeah.
But they're going to engage. The success of the excitement generated by that is going to get people excited about the PlayStation brand, which then makes it possible to sell the Rise of the Tomb Raiders of the world, even though I've just crossed platforms there.
Sure, yeah.
But maybe if Microsoft focuses more on the Cupheads and the Sea of Thieves rather than here's a 3-minute, here's a quick trailer.
That's so much more interesting to me than having a trailer that is like, we got Call of Duty guys, we got Battlefront guys, we got Destiny guys, like the third-party semi-exclusive, like the portraying those games as exclusives is so much less interesting to me than actual exclusives.
Yeah, which Microsoft has in spades.
Yeah, and it's like Cuphead outweighs Call of Duty for me every time.
I don't think there's any, of course, it's subjective, but to me, I don't think you can look at Sony's first-party exclusive lineup for 2016 and Microsoft's. I really don't think there's much comparison. I think Microsoft has by far the more. They both have great lineups, but I think the Xbox has a much better lineup.
2015 to an even greater degree.
2015,
there isn't any.
There was one excellent PS4 exclusive.
Bloodborne, and it came out 2 months into the year.
Yeah, and Microsoft had several.
Yeah,
but it's again, this is not to say that Microsoft is bad at conferences, because again, I think they were for a while. Like toward the end of the Matric era, they got pretty boring. But I think in the Phil era here, they've gotten very good at just delivering rock solid, great performances on stage where they present a lot of games. But
Phil is a huge part of that.
Yeah, of course, he is 90% of it. I mean, look at Peter Moore, then to Don Matrick, and then to Phil Spencer.
Yeah,
and you can see which one of these is not like the other two.
Yeah. Well, and that comes through anytime we interview those guys, it was always the same thing where you would get very robotic responses from someone like Matrick, whereas Phil and Peter Moore are super genuine, great dudes to talk to who just, they get it. They want to have these conversations. They know what's good and what's bad and how to fix it and all this stuff. I don't know. And that shows through in your stage performances. And it's super important to have great ones.
The other thing, go ahead, Destin.
One thing Microsoft did really well that somebody actually pointed out to me on Twitter was their presentation of VR, like the whole Minecraft demo, the HoloLens versus how PlayStation handled it.
Well, that was an unmitigated disaster.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, you need to watch it.
VR presentation it was pretty rough. Not only with the Tron wannabe thing.
I don't want to rehash it. I mean, the
tech wasn't working properly, and it wasn't.
VR is just also really hard to demo.
Yeah, it
is. But Microsoft did it really well comparatively when looking at Microsoft and PlayStation.
I don't know. Wrong show to have this conversation. PlayStation VR is not very good.
I completely disagree.
I also disagree based on a thing I saw that I'll tell you about later.
I think it's fine, but it's unexceptional. In a world where there are exceptional devices
I think everything you've seen, I've had the privilege of
I do want to see that.
Yeah. But yes, you are not wrong based on...
Table this conversation.
Yeah. We'll come back to this.
They had some really good demos on the show floor. Like they had Eve Valkyrie that everybody was talking about, and Rez, everybody was talking about that.
Oh my God, I want to play Rez with
Finnegan
the bloody
suit. Finnegan's not on the show today, but he and I played Eve Valkyrie on Oculus.
Yeah.
And our coverage goes up tomorrow, which is probably today by the time you hear this, with some cool direct feed video.
The game is super cool.
It's it's kind of bare bones in the 2015 multiplayer vein of, well, it's just a multiplayer game. But the novelty of being in that ship,
Yeah,
as a cool showcase for VR, it's
cool.
really good. But yeah, so beside the, Microsoft needing to really push the fanboy buttons a little bit better than they're doing. Instead, they've
get
got
conversation going.
Yeah, exactly. I think the other thing is, I think it would be good for them to have some sort of event. I mean, they've done, like, at E3, they did a fan fest one night, and at
you're saying have a PSX for
and
Microsoft.
at PAX they had people to their campus to play a bunch of indies.
But I think that's different than I feel
than
like
a weekend event.
Right, I feel like where it's like,
pump up.
Here, we're throwing this entire event. Its sole purpose is to engage with you, to you, our fans. I really think the energy you alluded to, I got to see a little bit of it. I was sick on Saturday, but I sort of snuck around for something else I was doing on Sunday. Yeah, I was patient zero, by the way.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, and you could see that, like, everybody's walking around with their PlayStation tote bags, and everybody's just excited to be there to celebrate this platform they love. I think Xbox fans want that.
Totally.
They want to all get together and be enthusiastic together about Xbox, because it's great to talk about it with your friends. It's great to go on Xbox Live, but there is another power to it when it takes on a physical, in-person community gathering. And I do think there is a hunger for that in the Xbox community that's just not being fed right now.
Totally agree.
News time. Let's start with a recap of the Game Awards,
Marty.
aka Suck It, Konami.
Oh, you burnt.
That I literally could not believe that was happening when I saw Jeff throw Konami under the bus.
So I was like frantically typing my tweet, which instantly became my most quote unquote successful tweet of all time.
Your highest engaged tweet.
Yeah. Turns out people like tweets where you're like, F you, the man.
Yeah.
But it was totally genuine. I mean, I said, I thought it was just, I praised Keeley for publicly calling out Konami, because Kojima was barred by lawyers at Konami from attending the
he was
Game Awards.
Not even accepting, but attending.
He didn't win, by the way.
This is the second award he hasn't been able to accept. So
He didn't win.
Oh, really?
I think Stephanie accepted something for him, didn't she?
Yeah, there was
wasn't
something
Game of the
where
Year.
PR
No.
accepted an award for Kojima Productions.
Okay.
Yeah. That was at a different event.
Oh, my
Yeah.
bad. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's even more interesting. If
Yeah,
you
Keeley comes out and just explains the whole thing with a straight face, straight into the camera. And as I'm typing my tweet and I'm about to click tweet, Goldfarb's like, or somebody in the room had said, it's got to be a goof, like, because Kojima's going to pop up like any second now.
And then
he
it's so
didn't.
funny that everyone thinks everything bad about Konami right now is a goof. Like, that is how disastrous it is that people assume it's
So I was
fake.
like, this is a weird ARG. This is all for Phantom Pain DLC.
Kotaku wrote an article like, imagine how bad it is to work at Konami US right now, or Kojima US.
man.
It's got to be terrible.
They shut them down. They
Yeah,
don't
that
exist
doesn't
anymore.
exist anymore.
Oh, that's right.
So that's how bad it is. You don't have a job
currently
anymore.
It's
Yeah.
unemployment line bad. But yeah, that was definitely probably the most memorable moment of the 2 hours. But I also want to give credit. I thought the Iwata tribute was fantastic, both from Jeff and from Reggie.
Yeah.
I
was
loved
great.
it. It was very weird to hear Chris Cornell music over that.
Oh, the Pearl Jam thing?
Was it Pearl Jam?
was
I thought
Pearl
it was.
Jam, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
It
Soundgarden.
wasn't.
Oh,
Korn.
no. It was
Pearl
it was
Jam.
Eddie Vedder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder, strange dude
But-
to having a Iwata tribute, but it was so good. Like, it was like really genuine. Having Reggie on stage that long and like not totally falling apart, really amazing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Xbox news that came out of it. First, the Marty Sleva special in the pre-show.
That's a big scary monster, Marty.
Yeah.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
The DLC trailer.
Witches are coming.
Witches are coming. Yeah, Baba Yaga. She's a terrifying witch woman who kills chickens in her house and wants to eat Lara Croft.
I love
She has
Tomb
that
Raider
big
so
thing has a
much.
house?
It's at this point, I haven't made my final decision, but there's a very good chance I'm going to vote for it for Game of the Year.
Wow.
I'm
I
kind
need
of
to
on the
finish
same
that
page.
game.
I'm like, damn, it's
Second best Tomb Raider game of the year.
At the same time,
yeah.
I don't like the one thing I love about the new Tomb Raider since the reboot is the fact that it's more grounded in a reality. So I didn't like the supernatural bent
Final act.
The mega-sized samurais or whatever
that the story took in the first game.
Ugh.
And they avoid that really in the second game. And so I'm not a fan of the just full supernatural enemies that she's fighting in this DLC, but the game's so good I'm going to play the DLC anyway.
Totally.
and I'm sure we're gonna enjoy it, right? Like it's
Of course.
even though it's gonna be goofy and dumb, we'll be like, whatever. I got a cool new bow and I did some jumping stuff.
I got a spirit bow and I killed a real big witch.
There you go.
Boom. Rocket League.
Yeah.
On the way to Xbox One. Not a great surprise. In fact, this was sort of revealed, it was accidentally revealed, or maybe not, I don't know, ahead of the show.
Yeah.
Still good news. It's it's a game that's really engaged the audience. That's
It
helped
huge on PS4.
Well, it helped that it was free.
That'll be the interesting thing.
That's the key.
We've been talking about if whatever month it comes out, is this going to be a free Games with Gold game?
Well,
No.
it's out in February, by the way.
It will not be. I guarantee you that this game comes out and is not free.
Yeah, how will they have Pool Nation and Rocket League in the same month?
So if that is the case, I mean that's going to look bad for Microsoft. I'm not saying it's wrong. I mean it's because it's the ultimately I suppose it's the developer's choice. If like we just want to get it at like we did our free push, we got our buzz, now we want to cash in.
And that first free push is how it became big.
Exactly.
Like if that game was a $15 game right from the get-go,
Dead in the water.
not have
Correct.
blew up like
Probably.
So now I wonder if they expect that there is enough traction that it will sell in February for cost.
And I'm saying that regardless of that, those are all valid things, but if it isn't free out of the gate on Xbox, it's going to look bad for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. It's also including, by the way, a Gears of War vehicle.
I love them
What the
so
hell's
much.
it called
I
again?
can't remember what it's called. The stupid thing I don't want to drive in Gears
begins
of War
with an
1.
N, doesn't it?
The thing sucked.
Not the that's the
the Razor
Mako.
Hail. The Razor Scooter.
It doesn't
Hail.
matter. It was a dumb vehicle.
Mango.
Dude, I just realized, Marty. You don't know? Do you own a car right now?
No.
When
Should I
you
buy
do,
one?
you have to get the license plate Razor Hail.
Super good.
RZRHHA.
I'm not going to do it.
Razor Hail.
I love it.
When you buy a car in 10 years.
You never know.
Saving up.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Not
And
in
then,
San Francisco.
there is a Warthog in there too.
So good.
which is cool.
Yeah.
So look for Rocket League on Xbox One in February. The second biggest announcement of the night for me, although actually maybe the biggest Xbox announcement because the other one's not for Xbox, sadly, but. So the winner of the Game Awards was Tim Schafer, by the way, because he comes out and drops Psychonauts 2.
Yep.
Where
Crowdsourced.
is so they're looking to get 3.3 mil, which is the final take that they got for Broken Age, but it's not purely crowdfunded. It's 3.3 crowdfund, and then another chunk. Tim explained to us it's about a third, about equal parts.
It's in their video too. It's like there's a third party that is putting forth a chunk of money, however much, to help fund the game.
Right, and then Double Fine themselves.
Yes.
So it's three main investors:
Yeah.
crowdfunding, Double Fine itself, and then some angel
Publisher.
investor.
Yeah, and I think Notch said in 2013 or 14, whenever he pulled out of the project, that it would have cost
2012.
God, was it really that far back? That it would have cost like $18 million to make the game Tim was talking
Something
about.
like that.
So TBD how much comes from where, but I think that Fig is going to be very, very beneficial for that game.
Yeah, and it's already done really well, past 1 million super quickly.
Oh, it's past
It's at
2.
2.
Oh yeah,
now,
so
yeah.
This,
on
I don't
its
think this
way.
will have any.
It'll be funded by Friday, I bet.
But
Yeah.
it will be PC, PS4, Xbox One.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
For
also they
Psychonauts
already
2.
said 2018, so
2018.
yeah. But I'm excited for this. This is more like this in ukulele 3D character platformers coming back.
back.
I never thought I'd see Psychonauts 2.
Not right?
No.
Full-on Jack and Daxter
Yeah.
reboot coming up.
Not on
Please.
stage announced like that.
Yeah, and Eric Wopaz
Yeah.
co-writing it with him.
Yeah. Did you see the video,
Valve.
the announcement
Eric
video?
Wopaz. Yeah.
It's so good. The
Real-
way they handle
real
that. It's like, the Valve guy is going to write this Double Fine game.
Yeah.
What was I just going to say about that? I forget.
Psychonauts 2.
Something about
Never
Psychonauts
thought
too.
I'd see it.
Yeah,
2018.
we said that. Anyway,
Tim Schafer.
I'm sure I'll think about it later.
Greg Rice.
Yaga.
Video games.
Thanks, guys.
Kickstarter.
Love you guys.
Theater of the mind.
The other one, I'm just going to mention it because it's near and dear to me. Unfortunately, it's not for Xbox, and we can explain why. Full Throttle Remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite Tim Schafer game. Everyone has their favorite Tim Schafer game. Full Throttle is mine. It is a point-and-click adventure where you are a super badass biker who's hilarious.
Yes.
Deadpan. Total. I think it's Tim's funniest game myself. It is.
It's the one I've never played. I've always wanted to, but never got to it.
Happy for you.
Yeah, I'm excited
that this is going to happen. It's going to get the same treatment as Day of the Tentacle Remastered and Grim Fandango Remastered with commentary and updated art. But this one is just like Day of the Tentacle and Grim Fandango, PC, PS4, and did they say Vita for Full Throttle?
Did anyone say Vita this weekend?
I don't remember. But,
They talked about Vita.
but
A minute.
yeah, and the reason is it's because Disney owns the rights to all of these Tim Schafer games, not Sony. Disney owns it all because they bought Lucas. And Lucas owned all of Tim's stuff. So there's some advocate or advocates inside Sony where obviously Sony has plenty of, like, Tim Schafer could go stand out in the rain with a boombox and try all year to get, like, can I have my games back? And they'd be like, what? Go away.
Yeah.
But when it's Sony, a much bigger company,
They're probably like, here you go.
yeah, so there have been advocates inside Sony, as it's been explained to us by Tim, that have gone in and actually helped make the deal with Disney to allow Disney to have Disney allow this to happen. And so because Sony is involved, that means there will not be Xbox versions of this.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, from a business sense, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that all these are happening and that these are coming back to modern platforms. But it is unfortunate that technically it would be relatively simple for them to make Xbox versions.
Right click, say this.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
No,
export to
this
Xbone.
to me is more, again, what you were saying earlier, Ryan, about Sony doing things that might not make the most sense in terms of like sales numbers or financially, but it's the sort of the soft
service,
benefit of it. Yeah, the fan service, the things that get us in this room and probably people who listen to the podcasts, like those kind of people really excited.
Right, because let's be real. I mean, Full Throttle Remastered is probably going to sell. I guess I don't know, but let's say 100,000 copies. Sure. Compared to, like, if you use stage time on Tomb Raider, that's going to sell
millions,
1 million copies, more than 1 million copies. So yeah, that's a great point, Marty.
Yep.
Really excited about this next one.
Yeah, go ahead, take it away, Destin.
There's a Telltale game that's going to be about Batman, and I'm super, super excited about this.
When was the moment in this trailer when you guys knew it was a Batman game?
The logo.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was when because they had the whole sketch thing when it was like they were talking about whatever, and it's like this Bruce Wayne looking cat with 2 girls on his arm. I was like, oh, this is a new Batman game. And I turned my laptop to my dad. I'm like, they're announcing a new Batman game. I'm pretty sure it's a Batman game. And the Telltale thing comes up, and we were both just like, whoa! Did not see that coming at all.
So what do you think this is going to follow in the Batman world? Like, is it going to be a black and white story? I thought GCPD would work really well for a Telltale game.
But it's about Bruce. It is about Bruce.
Yeah. So
I agree. GCPD would be awesome for a Telltale.
Right.
That's about the Gotham Police Department and sort of how they are trying to exist as normal human beings in a world where nothing is normal.
They
in
show
a world
up.
where there's a
Mr.
vigilante.
Freeze has frozen everybody, and they're dealing with the decomposing corpses that are encased in ice, and they're like, "This is screwed up."
I really hope, obviously, Telltale's been really good about doing their own take on a universe before, but I really hope this is in Scott Snyder's New 52 Batman universe. Because it is so good. Scott Snyder's Batman is incredible.
Is that the one where there's somebody else's
right now?
character?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And it's like Court of Owls and all of this other stuff. It's really good right now. But obviously, if they do their own take, they could, do really interesting things with existing characters. And I don't know. There's a lot of stuff they could do, but
I will say,
I don't know what I would want from them.
I think I got to figure that trailer, it's a black and white trailer. It has to be a tone setting piece.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing must be.
I think it's going to be black and white.
I agree with you.
It'd be so good if it was like the black and white comics.
Yeah, it's going to be like Batman doing actual detective work and not just breaking faces.
Yeah.
It's going to be him
it's going to be dialogue and puzzle solving as opposed to
being
action.
a detective.
Yeah.
Swear to you, me, us. Do not answer. Swear to.
Remain silent.
Remain silent. Well, what? What are you talking about?
It still boggles my mind that Telltale has so many games in production.
Ryan,
they have a Marvel game. They have their new IP thing, TV thing.
Probably a Walking Dead season 3 in addition to Michonne.
They've already said that.
Well, Michonne. Oh, have they?
They've
Game of Thrones season 2.
3. Yeah.
Game of Thrones 2.
Ryan has a really important note here in the.
It's so they've been doing. Telltale's been doing their best to cover up their. I'm done. I'm out of goodwill.
Your apologies can only go so far.
I'm done with their engine. It's old. It's busted. It's just not acceptable anymore.
It doesn't work on consoles.
Telltale makes amazing stories. They make not good games.
It is time to update. Clearly, they don't have a cash flow problem. They got deals with Marvel, with Warner, with Minecraft, with all these, with of course Skybound on Walking Dead. HBO. There is no shortage of money. It's not like they're barely hanging on. It is time. They've gotten more than enough mileage out of that engine, because it's just too janky now.
It's clunky. You get audio overlaps. You get stuttering animations.
As we've moved to the new generation of consoles, and of course PCs continue to evolve if you're playing Telltale games there, the flaws are becoming apparent, such that their games are starting to look like puppetry. Like it's almost like the animation is subpar now.
The animation has gotten worse over the years, impossibly.
So I love the idea of a Batman Telltale game. I think that's a fascinating premise, but it's just like, guys, I love Telltale. I've been I've had a lot of kind words to say about them publicly for a long time, deservedly so, but it's time to hold their feet to the fire a little bit.
Engine needs an update.
It's time for an engine update.
Have it on pretty good authority. It's not going to happen.
Well, then you know what? Then I'm going to start complaining about it, and maybe other people are going to feel the same way, and they're going to realize it too late. I would rather. I'm trying to help. I want them to not slide down because of some BS reason, like we couldn't be bothered to make a new engine. So
it's just clunky. It takes you out of the
Unity.
experience.
It's free.
Yeah, it takes you out of the experience. It's a bummer when I'm playing a fantastic story, then all of a sudden it's like audio overlaps, just like where the same audio cue will play like 3 or 4 times during a death animation.
Character blips into like a T-pose.
Just really weird stuff in that engine.
I played a dialogue tree driven adventure game coming to Xbox One soon that I'll talk about a little bit later on the show, but it doesn't have any of those problems. And while playing it, I'm like, man, it's like I'm watching a stage play right now. That is just, it's human beings interacting with each other. Because it does not stop.
That's cool.
So again, while I'm super excited about this announcement,
of course, we love Tales from the Borderlands. Like the three of us were championing it for so many Game of the Year awards this year.
Yeah, it's going to be on our list for a lot of awards, but at the same time,
sort it out.
It's time, Telltale. if anybody over there is listening, please.
A Telltale sign.
Oh my goodness.
Now let's move on.
Baba Yaga.
The hiccup is the sign from Mitch.
We move on.
It's actually a complex matter to change an engine.
It is. And
damn it, Ryan, Shadow Complex. That's what I was going for.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were
set
just
you up.
We mucked it up.
Go ahead.
We mucked it.
Why don't we try remastering this conversation?
That was really good. Shadow Complex Remaster is now out on PC for free and is coming early next year to Xbox One and PS4. Shadow Complex is one of a lot of our very favorite XBLA games on the 360. Never left the 360. Really cool.
For anything.
Yeah. That was weird. I don't know why.
That's as exclusive as it gets.
When I was writing up that story, I was like, how? Like, I was like, Wikipediaing it. I'm like, no, I have to have gotten that wrong. I had to have gone to PC, right? Really great sort of spy Metroidvania. Problematic writer, but whatever. The game's good. You can look past it.
It's free on PC. My Facebook tells me every day, go to shadowcomplex.com and download Shadow Complex.
I love the Epic Game Launcher.
Yeah, you have to log in at the Epic Game Launcher. That's the only thing.
I'll just pay $10 for it on Steam when it comes out there.
Yeah. I'm hoping this does well, though. You have the note here. I would love to see a sequel.
Yeah. I tweeted at Chair saying that. Like, I hope this means you're just trying to drum up interest for the sequel.
Wink, wink, nudge,
and
nudge.
they either liked it or retweeted it or whatever, which seemed to me to be maybe I'm just being optimistic, but an indication of totally.
Yeah.
Because they have been, again, it's one of those things where I can't blame them because they've had the that iOS money, like making
Infinity Blade.
Infinity Blade has made them so much more money than Shadow Complex ever did. Like
Yeah.
if they were to have spent their time 3 years ago making Shadow Complex 2 versus Infinity Blade 2 or 3, whatever, they 100% made the right decision. That they made so much more money.
Now they're working on that J.J. Abrams game,
Oh yeah.
whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Spies.
So I'm hoping now that I don't, because is Infinity Blade over? Or is that series?
I don't
I think
it's
3
over.
brought it to some kind of
They're just
resolution.
not. Yeah.
But
I mean, I imagine we'll see another one at some point, but I
Right.
don't think it's in active development.
So then hopefully they're now saying, okay, well we
got our money.
we got our cash. Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and do Shadow Complex 2,
Yeah.
and
Chair's super talented.
they can make it a multi-platform
Most
game.
talented developer in Salt Lake City.
There are some good ones up there.
There is, yeah. Avalanche.
yeah, the Toy Story,
yeah.
Disney
Yeah,
Infinity
I saw
folks.
that.
Yeah, not the other Avalanche.
EA's got some people up
Yeah.
there. I'm trying to remember what they
probably do like a mobile thing.
they had before. I don't know. There's some good crew up there. New arena and Warzone maps for Halo 5. That's expected but awesome.
Cartographer's gift.
Yes.
Free.
There was a brief clip of the Warden in Warzone in there. Like, nope.
Thanks.
Enough of you, Warden. At least I can have 17 teammates to help
Yeah.
me take him down. Not 17, but 7.
Yeah.
So that's good. It'll be good to see what those maps actually play like. And then we talked about the Kojima thing as well.
Good show. I like the show.
Yeah, it was, and some good Xbox stuff. And there was a new trailer for, I didn't mention the Quantum Break trailer. I just, at this point, I just need that game.
Yeah, I'm like
let's
I see that trailer and I'm unmoved
Let's
because I'm
go.
already like, yep.
I mean, I'm at
Already
that
at
point.
peak excitement.
With pretty much any game that's coming out in the first half of 2016, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Just give it to
Stop
give,
talking
give
about
the
it.
game to me.
Well, it's like, I'm that way. Firewatch had a
Firewatch,
good
yeah.
presence at.
Yeah.
Again, I was sick. I couldn't go see the game at PSX, and part of it was like, well, you know what? It's fine. I'll
play that game
I'll go
in 60
fresh.
days or whatever.
Yeah. February something or
9th.
Oh yes.
I'm glad
So
people
good.
finally get to check it out. Public, you know?
Yeah.
Firewatch
Yes.
is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Sadly, that one's not coming to Xbox, at least right away.
Yeah.
Which is that one's.
But there'll be another good story game coming earlier that I could talk about later.
You want to just talk about it now?
Yeah, might as well.
do it.
I got
You've teased it twice.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. We're gonna have a bunch of coverage going up soon on Oxenfree, which is a new.
It's about free cattle.
Free Cattle. It's a sequel to Ollie Ollie. It's by Night School Games. It's their first game, but it's former Telltale folks and Disney folks, and it is sort of. It's like if John Hughes and Tim Schafer got together to make an adventure game that was a Aaron Sorkin walk and talk about Lost and Poltergeist.
Oh my God! Put that on the box.
It's just this amazing game about this group of kids who they go to this island every year for sort of a graduation party, and all this messed up stuff starts happening on the island.
Why do they keep going?
No, this year it does.
This is the year
Usually
where
they
everything
just
goes
drink
badly.
beers and like throw empties in the bonfire and fool around.
Bang
But
on the
like this
beach
year, this year it's like I said, Lost, Twin Peaks, Poltergeist-y sort of stuff. Amazing dialogue, a lot of the voice talent from Telltale games. But it has the thing is it's all presented. It's 2D like isometric. Like you're looking at a 2D scene. Like almost think of like those scenes.
It's like
in
a
Wes-
diorama.
Yeah, in like a Wes Anderson movie, and like Life Aquatic, when like the front half of the ship cuts away and you see what everyone's doing inside of the ship, and so that's how you're moving through the world. But dialogue comes up and you're choosing it, but you're still moving. Like the camera there's no cuts. Like the camera never zooms in, it never zooms out. It's never two shots. It's just always what's happening, and you're choosing what your character does and what they say, and everything feels so natural. Like when you interrupt a conversation, a character will answer you and then call you out for interrupting it. If you walk away, the character will be like, "All right, well, I guess you didn't want to talk." Like it's so natural and so seamless and so smart. And really great writing, really great.
Is there a character that looks exactly like me but is voiced by Chris Hardwick?
It's happening again.
No!
Your never-ending nightmare.
Yeah. Most of the characters are like 16 in the game, so maybe there's young Ryan McCaffrey.
That would be unfortunate.
Just had like one or two hairs.
Yeah,
little whiskers, just little whiskers.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It's coming out, I believe, January 11th. Beginning of January. Early
Literally just sold me on that game from
Super
your
cool.
description.
Yep. And that's coming to Xbox One and PC. So
Cool.
That will be cool. We'll have a lot more on that soon.
All right, let's talk about Bethesda. They're successful.
They sure are.
So successful that they've opened up another office, bless you, in Montreal.
Ready?
Wait.
Come on.
What
Pressure's
if I just
on.
slap you right in the
You
face?
guys messed it
We
up.
just peer pressured him into not sneezing again.
Oh, I'm really upset about that.
Yeah, Bethesda Studios, Montreal. They've joined literally everyone else in opening a Montreal studio, which is great because Montreal's a wonderful city.
WB Square.
UB, obviously.
UB, of course, owns the town.
EA just opened Motive.
EA.
Yeah.
Quebec City is a different place, but more UB. Like they're just like taking over the province.
Tons of indies.
They must get a
Yeah.
tax break or something there, right?
Behavior is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Spearhead, a bunch of red indies. But yeah, it's
The guy's making what's the cool clown?
Dropsy.
No.
Clown.
Damn it! What is their
The
name?
cool clown game.
No, why don't we just had We Happy Few?
Oh yeah,
We
Oh.
Happy Few guys are up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
the contrast
And also,
guys.
like Moon Hunters is a really cool indie game. made
Anyway,
out of
everyone
Montreal.
lives in Montreal.
Everyone lives in
that makes
Montreal. Go
games.
there. Poutine's real good.
Yeah.
Nice place.
But yeah, Bethesda Game Studios Montreal it's being run by the guy who was the sort of the lead on Fallout Shelter, and so
Oh.
we sort of had two different views of what this studio could be. Some of us think that this might be a mobile / companion shelter or studio. So like maybe
Close
that's
enough.
we're gonna get companion apps for games, or we're gonna get whatever the mobile equivalent of Fallout Shelter for whatever the next Elder
Fallout
Scrolls
Go?
game. Yeah,
Elder
Fallout
Scrolls Go?
Yeah, right. Yeah, or a Skyrim shelter. Don't leave your castle because there's dragons out there. Or this could be the
Arrow to the knee.
off-year studio.
Yeah.
This
both.
could be the New Vegas studio. Yeah.
Yeah, they could also be working on like, hey, we'd like to do a DLC pack for Fallout 4 set in San Francisco. This studio's going to do that. Well, we do the one that's set in New York.
Yeah.
The Fallout 3 DLC was great. I really liked it. I didn't play the New Vegas stuff though. I heard that was also really good, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to
Oh,
see
I mean,
what they...
New Vegas was it was stellar by all accounts. But
Yeah.
I think Mitch, you're probably right. It's going to be some mobile stuff and also just like heavier, like expansion type DLC content. I was of the opinion that this was going to be full-on off-year games, New Vegas style, until I realized that I guess the team's it's only like 40-something people.
Oof. Yeah,
Which
they're
isn't-
not making a Fallout
which isn't
game.
a lot for modern AAA game development. So, but yeah, I mean, because you got to figure. So Todd Howard will executive produce anything these guys do because everything has to go through him. He is the Todd father, as I call him.
I like that.
And but Todd has been adamant, apparently, about they, for as successful as Bethesda is, they have not grown. They are one team. It is Todd Howard's team, and they make a Fallout game, then they make an Elder Scrolls game, and that's the way they've been alternating for the last number of years.
Fallout team's like 100 people.
That's the Fallout team and the Elder Scrolls team are the same.
It's
same team.
crazy. That
Yeah,
it's
but
only
that's why
that
it takes
many.
them 5 years to make a game.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you got to figure everything will go through Todd on this, and but that's why I thought that maybe it would make sense, like, because Todd doesn't want to have too big of a team to manage, because he's got a vision for what he wants, and that vision does not involve like running a 300-person studio. He clearly doesn't want that, but his business overlords that are wise not to F with Todd too badly go, well, man, be really nice to have more than one of these every 7 years for
Wink,
each.
wink, nudge,
so
nudge.
why don't we open a new studio that Todd can oversee in a sky view level? So that I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but I wonder if they'll start slow with start with a smaller scale thing like a mobile thing and then expansion thing, and then eventually by the time Elder Scrolls 6 rolls around, then it'll be like, okay, well now you guys are going to make Elder Scrolls 6.5, with the offshoot game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's big news, man. I mean, this is the first major expansion of Bethesda ever.
Yeah.
But meaning Bethesda Game Studios, not ZeniMax
ZeniMax.
as a whole, obviously.
Yeah, I'm excited for this.
I also think this is not the last time you're going to see a big AAA developer expand to Montreal.
Yeah.
Like, it's
that's
just
becoming a hub.
such a massive growing place with an amazing pool of talent. Like, obviously, if you can start a studio and get 20 guys from UB to come
Right.
make your games,
And-
that's really appealing.
And the part of the reason that so many studios have gone to Montreal is that the government offers
you
a
money.
lot of incentives, financial incentives to open a business there, to start game development there. So
Yeah. I love Montreal.
Yep.
it's a good spot. Marty,
Yeah.
this one's for you, buddy.
Yeah. I've done it. Gone Home, one of our Game of the Year nominees of 2013. I gave it a 9.5.
Why so low?
Why so low? The big indies paycheck didn't come in. It's finally coming to consoles January 12th. This has
Yes,
been longer, but
that's before the avalanche begins. This is good.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, it's great. Gone Home is Steve Gaynor and Fulbright Company's sort of first-person, 2-hour, very story-driven adventure game.
The 90s.
Set in the 90s. Yeah, only 90s kids will remember all of this. Really great, really beautiful story. All of us who played it here loved it a couple of years back. And we knew it was coming to consoles from Midnight City, but then Midnight City went defunct, and we didn't know what was actually happening. And then all of a sudden it was like, nope, it's coming next month to... because originally this was going to be seemingly a 360 PS3 game. And so now it's Xbox One, PS4.
Yeah, they're actually updating. It's running on a newer version of Unity now.
Yeah, so
it could actually look
a little bit
better than
Nice.
the original PC release.
Yeah, which is great. And this is also important because Fulbright's new game that they're working on, which is probably going to come out sometime in 2016, is Tacoma, which we've covered quite a bit. But it's sort of like taking the same general idea of Gone Home, but expanding it in a much bigger...
In space!
Space. Yeah, really cool. I'm a big fan of Gone Home.
And Steve's going to be coming in and sitting in with us.
We got some good stuff planned.
In early 2015 to help promote this. So it's going to be awesome. You and I have talked to him, just off mic
totally. Yeah.
many times before. He's a great guy. He'll be if you enjoyed the Nathan Vella show a couple months back, you'll like when Steve's here.
Yeah,
we'll have a good time. We'll talk about some Gone Home stuff. We'll talk Tacoma.
Yeah, and Steve and a lot of the other Fulbright folks worked on BioShock 2 and Minerva's Den, specifically that DLC, which is one of my favorite stories ever set in Rapture. And he worked a little bit on Infinite as well.
Baller. Game I'm looking forward to it's been pushed out enough where I think the hype has really died down on this. I'm curious to see where the chips ultimately fall.
The Delation. We did it.
Tom Clancy's The Delation. Yeah, The Division was supposed to have a beta starting this week. It's not ready for that yet, so they're having a semi-private alpha, and then they'll have a beta later. Game's still due out in March. We'll see if that holds.
What game's not coming out in March? The game that's in alpha right now.
So it's running now through the weekend. And this, maybe I'm nuts, but I just want to bring this up real quick. People who pre-ordered the game get priority access to this alpha. Now, just a thought here. If I'm running a game developer, a game publisher, are pre-order customers really the ones that you want in a semi-public alpha test? Because we see it a lot here where people troll us for our reviews if we give a big game a less than big score, because it's they've in a lot of cases they've pre-ordered the game or bought the game and just don't want to be. They interpret it as being told that their purchasing decision was wrong.
No, all you're reading is one person's opinion.
So it was exactly right. But if you're giving your alpha codes to people that have pre-ordered the game, aren't you less likely to get really useful constructive feedback from those kinds of people? Because they're just going to be predisposed to loving the game or wanting to love the game on a conscious or subconscious level.
I'm curious whether the feedback they want is actually the criticism feedback, or if this is mostly technical. It doesn't matter it could be a chimp at a keyboard as long as there's things running around this world.
Servers, etc.
But we've seen this kind of thing before. I bring it up specifically with the Division, but where the pre-order customers get access to the beta or demo, whatever it is.
I get it as a bonus of hey, thanks for supporting us. Yeah. So here's a little treat to keep you waiting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little. Division is one of those, a lot of times we get games like Evolve and even Watch Dogs that's sort of in Battleborn that really awesome reveal. I am excited for it, but we're getting to that point where I'm all right, you've been in the back of my mind for a little too long.
Put up or shut up.
Yeah. Hey, how do you guys feel about multiplayer only games?
I'm really. Obviously, I got to play probably 40 minutes of it at E3 last year.
Yeah, I played the same.
I really liked it.
Cool.
It was super fun.
Really enjoyed what I played.
But it is one of those I would be fine if I didn't see anything from this game until
the day
it's
came
out.
out.
Yeah.
All right, we shall see. So if you pre-ordered The Division, check your email. You may be getting access to the game this week.
Cool.
Mitch Dyer.
Yes, sir.
You reviewed Star Wars Battlefront.
I did.
You gave it an 8.0.
8.0,
You very
not
much-
enough depth.
Great point.
Very much enjoyed the game, yeah, but it wasn't quite. We've seen that. I did the same thing with Rainbow Six Siege recently.
Yep.
EA has kind of admitted to an extent here that Battlefront, pardon me, I can't type properly according to this paper.
Oh, you're right. Look at that. It does say Battlefield.
Might see, but you couldn't even tell.
I didn't even notice.
The Battlefront might not be deep enough for hardcore gamers. EA CFO Blake Jorgensen has acknowledged that Star Wars Battlefront, quote, may not have the depth experienced players want in the sci-fi shooter. He says, Star Wars Battlefront is a first-person shooter, but it is one of the only teen-rated first-person shooters. We had designed it to be a much more accessible product to a wide age group. So, an 8-year-old could play with his father on the couch, as well as a teenager or 20-year-old could play the game and enjoy it. It's more accessible. And for the hardcore, it may not have the depth that they wanted in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's weird to bring up the T thing. 'Cause that doesn't.
No.
T doesn't equate
Yeah.
to depth.
No.
I mean, and also Star Wars isn't about sick headshots.
Halo 5 is
Yeah,
rated
yeah,
T,
yeah.
by the way.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
They finally
There's a
course
final-
corrected.
yeah, that's right.
The M rating that never fit.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't agree with the idea that like an 8-year-old wants accessibility, considering that 8-year-old's probably playing Call of Duty, which is a super hardcore shooter.
You get the F off my server.
I know that kid.
You racial epithet.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just don't think there's anything wrong with a game trying to appeal to a wider audience, like Star Wars, where they expect to sell 13 million copies. I think it's fine if you want to have a game that is, run and gun with a few different modes. I think that's fine. I think what made the game a little shallow was the sort of broad variety of meaningless modes. And I went over this 1,000 times in my review, different kind of conversations we did around the office, but I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it doesn't necessarily require depth. I don't think depth is equivalent to quality all the time.
Agreed.
Be nice
Yeah,
if it
not
had
at all.
like a campaign. I want more campaigns in games.
Well,
They're
and-
taking them out of all
And
these
that's the thing.
products. and
I
it bothers me.
wonder if the lessons are. I mean, because this is not viable data to go on, but the early word was that because UK retailers publish their weekly sales charts, and Rainbow Six Siege did not fare well in its out of the gate in the UK, and we've seen, I guess, the Battlefront player numbers are not quite where a lot of people maybe thought they were going to be,
Really?
the active online players.
I wonder, is that based on external? How do they acquire those numbers?
I think are they not available in the game? Can you not see it?
So
Anyway,
maybe on PC.
yeah. But in any case, I mean, it makes total sense from a business perspective. I mean, we've talked about this before, that EA got the Star Wars license, and they had 2.5 years
Go
to
go.
get a game to start from zero. Okay, well, we got this license. The movie's coming out holiday 2015.
Thank God we've already got this engine.
We've got an engine,
Yeah.
but yeah, we got to get a game. So it's what can they put out in that time that's going to be of a high quality and that's going to do really well and sell and make lots of money? But the trade-offs are no campaign, not as much depth as you might be looking for.
And that's the thing is I wonder, let's say they did a campaign for Battlefront. Do you think it would have looked that good? Do you think it would have been that big? Do you think it would have been as
What would
good?
have had to give?
Right.
For
What
it
would
to
have
come
been
out this fall?
what priority
Hero
would have had to
Hunt,
have
I
been
hope.
adjusted. But that's why I think, and I think you and I have an in-and-out bet about this.
Yeah.
That I am very much of the belief that there will be a Battlefront 2
Never gonna happen.
in approximately 2 years
Never
from
gonna
now,
happen.
and that
13
it will
million
have
sales. Never gonna happen.
it will have a
What the hell are you gonna die
I'm
on?
really rolling a dice.
Yeah,
on
and then
this
Rise
one.
of the Tomb Raider not coming out this year. I know that feeling.
and then that in about 2 years, fall of 2017, we'll have a isn't that what episode 8?
Episode 8.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good timing.
Oh my
yeah.
God, they can do Taco Donna. They can do more.
It'll have some sort of proper narrative-driven single-player campaign, and it will have space battles and obviously just more planets, more maps, more everything. And then we'll forget that Battlefront 1 ever happened, and we'll be like, yay, Battlefront 2 has everything we totally ever wanted.
Take a hot beat, make a hot song.
I wonder what the hype will be like for Battlefront 2 and or I don't know, anytime a Star Wars movie comes out, right? What is the hype going to be for Rogue One?
It's going to depend on if The Force Awakens is good or not.
That is
So
true.
let's say the
It's
Force.
Star Wars. It's going to be fine.
Let's say the Force Awakens is the best movie of all time.
Star Wars is.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us could say Force Awakens is going to be fine, considering the last 3 movies.
it sold 50 million already.
No,
It's
yeah.
not
I'm
even
saying
quality,
the quality
though.
of the movie, the hype of the next
Oh.
of the
I'm not
future
talking
of
about
Star
the
Wars is
quality
going
of
to
the movie.
No, the hype of the future of Star Wars is going to depend on if the Force Awakens is a good movie or not.
That is true.
Because if it's a dud, all of us are going to go off that cliff and be like, well, let's curb our expectations
Yeah.
for the next 7
But even,
years.
like, let's say, let's
We're all
pretend.
still going to go see the next movie.
Yes.
Even if it's a
But that-
tank.
But it still means it's bad if it's bad. Like it doesn't matter if we go see it or makes money. Like quality is quality. But like let's pretend that it is the best movie ever made, ever. Next year with Rogue One, are we excited because Force Awakens was good, or are we excited about Force Awakens because it's new?
yeah,
Like I don't know. I'm going to be interested to see how people respond to Episode 8, especially, right? Like because it's been a decade since the last Star Wars film, and there's all this optimism about Disney and Abrams and all these people, and obviously Episode 8 could be great, but how excited are people going to be after year after year after year of Star Wars? I hope it's a lot.
George
I know
Lucas,
I would.
people are
I don't know
still
about
people
y'all.
are still stoked for Civil War and for Infinity.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
Infinity
true.
War because they've been keeping a relatively high.
Yeah.
bar.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm personally going to be kind of sad in like 5 to 7 years from now when I'll think back and be like, man, remember how much excitement there was built up for Episode 7, and now that's all gone
Right,
because
it's
it's
the
just normal.
expectation instead of excitement.
They've Call of Dutied it, where it's just like, well, we're gonna get a Star Wars this year. It'll probably be pretty good, but
My mommy.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're
totally.
Disney is going to Call of Dutyify Star Wars, where there's a release every year, but there's different teams working on them
Yeah.
each on each one.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's gonna take away that sort of, there won't be that kid-like glee of anticipation anymore.
That's real.
And that is going to be a sad moment.
I wonder if they'll do the same with Indiana Jones. Like, I wonder if
I hope
if they
not.
bring back Indy, will Indy be obviously Indiana Jones is not as big as Star Wars, but could they do that? I don't know. That'll be an interesting.
Don't
one to
give
see.
him any ideas, Mitch.
Harrison Ford ain't got that long left.
Bring back-
He keeps trying to kill himself.
we got
and
Shia LaBeouf. It's fine. It's fine.
planes
It's fine.
and letting doors on the set fall on him.
Yeah.
Dun,
Poor
dun,
guy.
dun.
Did Disney bought all of LucasArts, not just the
yeah.
Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, all
That's
Lucasfilm.
right.
Everything.
Yep.
Mitch Dyer.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything to spend our money on, or did everything come out already?
Nothing yet, but hopefully we'll get an American Graffiti game in a few years. Nothing at retail. On digital, we've got Super Party Sports Football, which is not a name I
It's a
just made
soccer
up on
game,
the
by the
spot.
way. That's the Euro definition.
misleading
European
title.
It's
definition.
also probably not very good. It's called Super Party Sports. $5. Chivalry Medieval Warfare is $20 on Xbox One, which is great.
Always online
That's-
strategy game.
It's
Yeah.
so cool. Chivalry is really cool. Rock Zombie, $8.
I copied the description for you, Mitch.
Dig through the
There is a gnarly comic splice.
Not Rob
in this.
Zombie.
It's so good. What would happen if a concert of a female rock band was invaded by a horde of zombies? The answer to that question can be found in this video game, which combines both classic gameplay from the arcade golden age with modern 3D graphics.
I like that Arcade Golden Age is capitalized.
Yeah, right? Like that's a
Oh,
proper
the
noun.
AGA.
Proper noun.
Yeah, the AGA.
Yo, I'm a veteran of the AGA.
Also, does that mean
32nd Division.
also, I think they could have just said it's Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so that exists.
That totally looked like a thing that you didn't want. No, based on what I saw.
Don't do that.
All right. On the marketplace, we have a new GTA Online update for free called Every Bullet Counts. I have no idea.
It's a
what's in
last
this.
man standing
Also,
type mode.
cool.
You have fewer
like
bullets.
permadeath.
You have
Oh, that's
fewer
cool.
bullets than there are opponents.
So that's
you-
good.
like,
do you
when
have to
you're-
like go collect their weapons after you kill them?
You have to beat them with melee objects to win.
Big fan. Big fan of
That's
that.
pretty good.
It's not on here, but Destiny got Sparrow Racing.
Oh,
kind
that's
of in
true.
the same
Yeah, yeah.
vein
Oh,
as Grand
That is
Theft
on
Auto.
Xbox? Because
Yeah.
I thought it was debuting on PS4 first. No?
No, it's
Good. Okay.
It's just everywhere.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up.
December's Games with Gold. If you have an Xbox Live Gold subscription for Xbox One, you're going to get the incredible adventures of Van Helsing and Thief from. Oh no. Okay, this confuses me every time.
This confuses me every week.
Every time. The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing is available now until
Yes, all
December
month.
16th.
As is
No,
the-
until the 31st.
Damn it, this is so confusing.
Yeah.
All right, all month long, Van Helsing for free, Xbox One.
Yes.
Starting on December 16th, running through January 15th, Thief. On Xbox 360, you can get Castle Storm until the 15th, at which point it will switch over to Sacred 3 on Xbox 360. And on 360 at the same time, 16th through the 31st, you're going to get Operation Flashpoint, Dragon Rising. Are you looking at my answer on the back of this sheet? Is that why you just grabbed that pen to write down yours?
No, I didn't.
Whoa. Settle down.
No.
Mitch is a little defensive.
Said the guy who didn't show up and called in last week.
Yes. I mean, some of us are committed to the Dookie, Destin. Where have you been at? Where have you been
I've
at?
been here in the studio actually filming.
And still losing.
Not resting on my laurels in
What's
Canada.
the gif where the guy like the one guy like walks like this through the scene over and over?
That's my favorite.
I love that one. It just the way it's cut. It's so
It's
perfect.
so good.
He just keeps
Everyone behind him, like, holding each other back.
Well, you teased it because Mitch today, in our penultimate live episode of 2015,
Stop
has
calling it live. It's not live.
Live to tape.
okay. It's whatever.
Did this already happen in my real life?
Our penultimate current events episode. Mitch has a chance to clinch the Dookie Trophy because he is up 1 point.
If he gets it right today and I get it wrong, it's over.
Yeah. Yes, that is correct. That is what it takes. Otherwise, you could still tie next week and send it into a
Sudden
unlock
death.
block off.
I kind of hope I lose today so that happens.
So
I like that.
We will be right back
But I'm
with
not gonna.
the Unlock Block Trivia segment right after this. All right. Unlock Block Trivia. There's a lot riding on it this week.
Yeah.
It's
Mitch
been
is
a
gonna get it. I'm
hard-fought battle. We've been keeping score all year long.
I can't believe you ended up committing to this. Like, when you
know,
said
it's
you were
kinda-
going to do it, I was like, we're never going to remember to do
kinda
this.
great.
We're never going to do this.
So, I remind you, Mitch, 19 points for the year. Destin, 18 points for the year. Marty, super respectable, but mathematically eliminated at 15 points for the year.
That's what I get. You send me on IEN first, and this is what happens.
Shark with 9, but
Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, whatever. We love Sean. So this week, our winner is, hope I'm not going to destroy his last name here, Steven Forgione,
Speaking of Italy.
a listener all the way from New Jersey.
A Joyzy.
That's right, my hometown, home state. Recognize, son.
The Nuge.
That's Ted Nugent. That's not New Jersey. Microsoft, he wins, by the way. And by the way, I want to thank our listeners who we've been getting so many donations for prizes from a bunch of Gears of War codes.
Someone gave me judgment after I complained about it on the show because Microsoft still didn't ever give me my code.
Nice.
I was so sad, so thank you to
So yeah, a
person
bunch
who
of
I-
Gears of War
Love you.
codes, and then a guy said, "Hey, I've got an extra copy of Halo 5
Nice.
on
Wow.
it," and so he's mailing that because it's a physical
That's
disc.
awesome.
That's
And
awesome.
then a San Francisco Unlocked fan said, "I've got an extra copy of Star Wars Battlefront," and he literally
rad.
he dropped it off here. That is amazing.
That's cool.
So I think our winner I think Steven has the choice. I'm waiting to hear back from him on email whether he's going to take the Battlefront or not. But we'll have Halo 5 soon. I don't want to offer it until the copy arrives.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we've got a bunch of copies of backwards compatible Gears of War games.
Yeah.
So, Steven's question is this. Microsoft tried very hard to get Xbox exclusive JRPGs during the Xbox 360 life cycle. That is a fact. Each of these games originally released as an Xbox 360 exclusive in North America. However, which of the following games was eventually released on PlayStation 3 in North America? Was it Lost Odyssey, Tales of Vesperia, Star Ocean: The Last Hope, or Blue Dragon? Marty, I'm going to go your way first. Given that you're just playing for pride at this point.
Playing for pride. I'm pretty sure the answer is C. Star Ocean: The Last Hope.
Okay, so you think it's C.
Blue Dragon was definitely not, because Blue Dragon was one of the was Sakaguchi's games. So was Lost Odyssey. I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, and the
And
Gucci.
Vesperia is like infamously not on PlayStation 3.
Yes, it is. Vesperia came to Japan, but not to.
Really?
Yeah, it was on PS3 in
Wow.
Japan. Yeah, so I'm going with C.
Okay,
Star
and Mitch,
Ocean.
you seem to
I
agree.
also went with C.
You have written down your answer already. Destin?
Also went with C.
Also
C,
went with C. I
boys.
see you had A marked there?
No, I
Oh, and then
slashed
he saw mine is probably what happened.
No, I slashed it off
he
because
has it circled. It's legit.
No, A slashed off because I'm
You were
like
eliminating it.
Not
Not A.
Lost Odyssey.
No, no way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, You are all three correct, so we
right.
will not have a clinch situation.
Man.
It's going to come down to the wire.
Wire.
You are still in this, Destin.
So I can tie it up, and then we go to sudden death.
You are still in this. We might have a block off.
You might
Yeah.
have to bring some extra questions
I
next
will.
week just in case.
I will be ready.
I
Count
want
on that.
Okay, we'll go over this afterwards. I know how to do trivia offs.
That's true. You are part of
I'll
the
do
master.
bar trivia.
No. We'll go over this later.
We'll go over it later.
I know exactly
All
what you're
right,
thinking.
so-
It's good.
The number? Yeah.
Stephen Forgione, thank you so much for sending that question in, and bravo to all three of you guys for getting that one right. By the way, all of those were excellent.
That was
games.
a rad question.
That was boy, it's rest in peace, Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey.
Tales of Vesperia is so good.
You can't say Microsoft didn't try.
Yeah, but now
still have my Lost
Sakaguchi's
Odyssey.
making Terra Battle, which is a swipey game on your phone.
Swipey game.
If you would
Make
like,
it a swipey.
if you would like to possibly have your question chosen as the what could be the deciding question for the Dookie Trophy next week, send your Xbox-related trivia question along with 4 multiple choice answers. Please note the correct one in your email, and send that where, Mitch?
Mitch at IGN. No. Send that to unlocked at IGN.com.
Wait, do you just have Mitch at IGN?
No, I wish I did.
Real good.
I think Greg had Greg.
That's because
Fran has Fran. I've tried to get Destin, and they're like, you can't do that.
You can't have this.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever gonna have another Destin, so I feel like
Yeah, that's. I'm like,
seems
really?
safe.
Really? I think we're okay on this one.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will play the final unlock block next week, and someone is going home with the trophy.
I'm going to leave it here, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, by going home, it's gonna go to someone's desk 30 feet away.
Someone is going to have this trophy on their desk for the next.
Stop touching
Just,
it.
hey,
You just ruin
it's
it
not
every
yours
time you
yet.
touch it.
It gives me power to get the right answers.
Yeah, it gives you power to literally destroy it, which you have.
You can pull the trigger now. How is that destroyed in any way?
It's a trophy. The trigger's not supposed to work.
This doesn't mean it's broken.
Stop violating the purity of my trophy.
Oh,
We'll see.
All right. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Chewie, get us out of here.
God, I have to be in this room for another hour.
It's only 12:30. We're
This
not
room-
going home.
This room is such a hot box, and I have to be in here for another hour right now.
Enjoy.
No,
Are
I'm
you
not.
doing Overclock with us today, by the way? You're on the calendar. I don't think you said yes.
You're here for the rest of the day. Have fun. The party's crying.
sweaty and hot? And just
Take off the cardigan.
Smells like boys in this room.
Yeah. Boys in the room.
Boys.
Yeah, it's the new scent from Calvin Klein. I remind you, I've gotten tweets of people who have said thank you for enjoying the show by subscribing to Prime. I appreciate it. Go to IGN.com/Prime. Give us your $30. We'll give you a year of an ad-free IGN. No ads in front of videos, no ads on your desktop. We would love it if you would do that to help keep us employed and keep the show on the air. So again, IGN.com/Prime for that. Follow me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. If you missed my final scored Rainbow Six Siege review, feel free to take a look at that on IGN or YouTube or whatever. And what else am I doing?
Doing a bunch of IGN first stuff.
First stuff.
Yeah,
this
the
month.
Hot Games of 2016 thing. We got a cool little exclusive almost every day up until Christmas for like just one game a day. There's some big ones in there too. I gotta say, there's one next week. I think is gonna be probably the biggest one.
Ooh, I
But
don't know
we'll
what that
see.
is. Scoops.
I have no idea. I haven't seen the calendar.
I'll tell you later.
All right.
So yeah, just keep an eye on IGN.com on a daily basis. Check in and see what cool new thing we've got for a 2016 game there. And I throw it to Destin.
Follow me on Twitter at Destin Legary. I do Destiny content. I do this top mods of the week for Fallout and a lot of little Fallout clips. I've also been streaming a lot on twitch.tv/thedestin
See a
channel.
proctologist about that. Urologist, I should say.
About
Maybe
streaming?
also a proctologist. You could have other things going on.
Pee-pee keeps coming out. You can't stop it.
Well, if you want to watch that, twitch.tv/thedestin channel.
You're in a
and
world of hurt.
youtube.com/thedestin
What
channel.
happened to the Destination?
That's not owned by IGN, so I wanted to retain rights to it. So, yeah. Anyway, follow me on Twitch and YouTube if you want to check that stuff out.
Awesome. Marty?
Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tinder, Grindr. Porter, Hinger,
Tumblr.
Tumblr,
Loser,
MySpacer, Blomper, Womper, at
Glam.
McBiggity with 2 G's and 2 T's. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna have some cool Oxenfree stuff going up soon. I also co-host Podcast Beyond, which is our PlayStation podcast, which is IGN's #1 PlayStation podcast.
Proud of you, baby.
Woo!
Did you just say IGN's #1?
No, I
PlayStation
never would have
podcast?
said that.
It's the number.
It's really
the
fun.
number fun PlayStation.
And last week
podcast.
we had Alana Pearson, who's our newest toys and cultures editor, and she's incredible.
Yeah, she'll be on this show at some point when her schedule permits, but she's been a busy one.
Haven't even
Spoilers.
seen her today.
She's not here.
Not
Oh,
she's-
that explains it.
Australian. Spoilers.
She's in Australia?
She's Australian.
Australian.
Hawk. HD. She said HD.
She's not here. She's Australian. Are two weird things to put together.
I was saying she's Australian, and he said that I haven't seen her today, and I replied to him that she's not here.
This is like in a show where they do a flashback to the thing you just saw.
Yeah.
And it's really awful.
It's like a bottle
That's what
episode.
it's
My life is a bottle episode. Mitch,
All right,
please
as the
talk.
today.
train careens off the tracks, Mitch Dyer, take us home.
At Mitchy D on Twitter, I host IGN's PC podcast, Overclocked. We are working on a bunch of stuff that's really cool. If you want to see stuff like Marty's Final Fantasy VII in 7 minutes is amazing.
Yeah,
We
shout out to
help
Zach
with
and
that.
Denise. They're incredible.
Yeah. So we're doing that for Star Wars. Zach is working on Star Wars right now, and then I'm working on a companion piece to Star Wars in 5 minutes that is sort of everything that takes place after Return of the Jedi and before The Force Awakens, if you want to get caught up on the journey to The Force Awakens, the narrative stuff.
You will.
Yep.
That was Grover. Shout out to Grover, my favorite Muppet.
Yeah, so we'll get you caught up on everything from the comics, the books, the
Who asked
everything.
you, Marty?
With that's you'll see that right ahead of The Force Awakens.
Also, without giving literally any details ever, next week we might have one of the coolest stories of the year.
I'm really excited that that's
Nice.
Sweet.
Hey, you know what I just realized?
Real big
we will not have a show for a while after we all see Force Awakens to come back and talk about it.
about
Dun, dun, dun.
Bummer.
That's all right. We won't spoil it for anybody. We can talk about it
True.
after enough
I
time
am going
has
to come
passed.
on your show, your Overclock show today, though, and drop some hot Full Throttle knowledge on y'all.
Ooh, good, because I've never played it. I'm very excited to learn more.
I'm going to tell you about why that game's so great.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Give me
cool.
I need to go. I'm sweating real hard.
Yeah,
boys.
we're leaving.
Don't be a bitch, just leave.
This has been Podcast Unlocked, episode 224.
Palindrome.
Join us, and we'll end the year on a somewhat round number. Nice looking number, 225.
Yeah.
It's actually
next
an odd
week.
number.
Shut up, shut up, Mitch. Just shut up.
And then, by the way, outtake show.
Yeah.
After that.
Nice.
So there will be 1 week where we don't have a show. We'll have a 1 week break. Sue me.
Listen to this one again.
Or listen to another one. Just hit shuffle.
Yeah. Or
Listen
listen-
to IGN Overclocked.
Or listen to Serial.
listen to my Tesla podcast.
There you go.
Ride the Lightning.
there we go.
Get yourself educated on
Cars of
electric
the future.
vehicles.
Check
Yes.
out Fireteam Chat.
Man, I'm
You
mad.
had your chance to plug, Destin. No. All right. Let's go home. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Baba Yaga.